Have you ever met someone who seemed perfect at first, but later turned out to be completely different from what you imagined? Carl Jung, one of the most influential psychologists of the 20th century, believed that a person's true character isn't revealed in what they say, but in subtle patterns of behavior. According to him, there are two powerful areas of life that expose who someone really is. And if you pay attention to these, you'll never be fooled again. Think about it. People can hide behind words, smiles, or even charm. But when life tests them, the mask begins to slip. Jung argued that character is most visible not in polished moments, but in everyday choices and difficult situations. Just like cracks in a wall reveal what lies beneath the paint, these two areas show you a person's inner foundation. In this video, we'll break down those two revealing signs, step by step, using real-life examples and Jung's psychological insights. By the end, you'll have a clear lens for seeing beyond appearances and understanding people at their core. And if this lesson resonates with you, write seductive wisdom in the comments, because true wisdom is not just in knowing people, but in learning how to see through them. Carl Jung often warned that people are not always what they present to the world. Words, smiles, and carefully crafted images can all create an illusion of character. Someone can talk endlessly about kindness, honesty, or loyalty, but words are cheap. They cost nothing and demand no sacrifice. True character, Jung argued, is rarely found in what people say about themselves. It is revealed in what they consistently do. Think about it. Have you ever met someone who spoke of honesty yet lied the moment it benefited them? Or someone who preached patience but erupted in anger over something small? These contradictions happen because words come from the conscious mind, but actions often reveal the unconscious. Jung believed that the unconscious, the hidden drives and impulses, is where a person's real nature lives. Modern psychology supports this. Studies show that people often use words to self-present, meaning they try to shape how others see them. But behavior under pressure, or in situations where they gain nothing, is far more reliable. For example, anyone can sound generous when speaking about charity, but how they treat a waiter or respond to a stranger in need tells the real story. Jung's insight highlights the importance of observation over assumption. Many people enter relationships, whether business, friendship, or love, trusting words alone. Later, they are shocked when actions don't match. But if you pay attention early on, you'll notice small patterns. Do they follow through on promises? Do they act kindly when no one is watching? These details reveal more than any speech ever could. There's also a psychological reason words deceive us. Humans are wired to want to believe others. This truth bias makes us take people at face value. Jung pushed against this tendency, teaching that wisdom means looking deeper. Trusting only words blinds us, watching actions opens our eyes. To put it simply, words are intentions, actions are truth. Jung believed that relying on words alone is like judging a book by its cover. The cover may be polished, but only when you read the pages do you discover the story inside. The same is true with people. Their character is written in how they live, not what they say. So here's my question for you. Have you ever believed someone's words, only to later discover their actions told a very different story? Share it in the comments because your experience might help others learn to see through appearances more quickly. Carl Jung believed that one of the clearest ways to see a person's true character is to observe how they treat people who cannot offer them anything in return. It's easy to be polite to a boss, a teacher, or someone you admire, but the real test comes in dealing with waiters, cleaners, or even strangers on the street. The way someone acts toward those with less power reveals whether their kindness is genuine or just performance. Think of this example, a man who is charming at a dinner party but snaps impatiently at the waiter. His smile to friends may look sincere, but his harsh words to staff reveal arrogance and entitlement. Jung would argue that this moment unmasks his unconscious truth. Character isn't measured by how you treat equals, but by how you treat those who cannot defend themselves. Modern psychology echoes this idea through the concept of status behavior. Studies show that people who display respect regardless of status tend to have more stable personalities, while those who shift behavior depending on power dynamics often struggle with insecurity or dominance issues. In simple terms, if someone treats the powerful with respect but belittles the powerless, their character is fractured. History is filled with examples. Leaders who built trust and loyalty were often those who treated soldiers, servants, and the poor with dignity. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, for instance, ate with the poor, spoke kindly to children, and honored even his enemies, showing that true greatness is measured by humility. Jung's psychological lens and spiritual wisdom both agree power reveals, but powerlessness tests. So next time you want to understand someone's character, don't just listen to how they speak to you. Watch how they speak to those who have nothing to offer. That small detail can tell you everything you need to know. Have you ever noticed someone's true side revealed in this way? Share your story in the comments. It might open another person's eyes. The second key Jung pointed to in understanding true character is how a person reacts when life turns against them. Words and appearances are easy to maintain in good times, but hardship strips away the mask. When someone faces loss, rejection, or failure, their unconscious traits rise to the surface. Do they respond with patience and resilience, or with anger and blame? That reaction reveals far more than years of casual conversation ever could. Consider an example. Two colleagues lose the same job opportunity. One becomes bitter, insulting everyone around him, while the other accepts the setback with dignity and focuses on finding new solutions. Both men had similar skills, but their character was revealed in adversity. Jung believed that struggle uncovers the shadow, the hidden fears, impulses, and strengths we keep buried until pressure forces them out. Modern psychology supports this insight. Researchers studying stress responses find that adversity magnifies personality traits. A kind person often becomes more compassionate under stress, while a selfish person becomes more controlling. In other words, challenge doesn't create character, it exposes it. When you observe how someone handles adversity, you are watching their most authentic self. This principle applies in relationships too. A partner who remains respectful during disagreements shows inner discipline, while one who lashes out in cruelty shows unresolved shadows. Jung taught that we can't fully know someone until we've seen them in hardship. Just as fire tests gold, trials test the human spirit. So the next time you want to know someone's true nature, don't just look at their words in peace, look at their actions in pain, and ask yourself, have you ever seen a person's real character revealed in a moment of hardship? Share your reflection in the comments because it may help others recognize the hidden lessons in adversity. Carl Jung believed that every person carries a shadow, the hidden part of their personality made up of traits they deny, repress, or try to hide from the world. The shadow includes both weaknesses and strengths, but because people are afraid of facing it, they push it into the unconscious. Jung argued that the shadow is often revealed not in words, but in behavior, especially under stress or in unguarded moments. For example, a man who insists he is always calm may explode in anger when things don't go his way. A woman who prides herself on kindness may show envy or cruelty when threatened. These reactions are not new behaviors, they are glimpses of the shadow breaking through the mask. Jung believed that by paying attention to these hidden traits, you can see a person's true character more clearly than through their polished image. Modern psychology explains this through the idea of implicit traits, qualities we don't admit to ourselves but that still influence our behavior. Studies show that people often act in ways that contradict their self-image, because the unconscious is stronger than conscious will. This is why observing patterns of action rather than relying on words gives you a more accurate picture of someone's nature. Jung also emphasized that confronting the shadow is not just about judging others, but about self-awareness. When you see your own shadow, your impatience, jealousy, or pride, you can begin to control it instead of letting it control you. Likewise, when you notice shadow traits in others, you're not just seeing flaws, you're seeing the reality of human nature. So here's the question. Have you ever seen someone's mask slip, revealing a hidden side of their character? And more importantly, have you noticed your own shadow in action? Share your reflections in the comments, because recognizing the shadow is the first step toward real wisdom. Sometimes the easiest way to understand Jung's insights is by looking at real-life examples. Imagine a businessman who donates generously to charity events where cameras are present but shouts at his staff behind closed doors. His public generosity is words and image. His private cruelty is character. Jung would say his true self is revealed not in speeches but in how he treats those with less power. Another example, a close friend who always talks about loyalty, but the moment life gets difficult, they disappear. Contrast that with another friend who doesn't say much, but quietly shows up when you're in need. The first revealed their character through absence, the second through presence. Jung's point was simple. Actions during pressure or when there's nothing to gain are far more revealing than promises. History is also filled with such lessons. Many admired leaders were not judged only by their victories, but by how they handled defeat and treated their people in hard times. A king who shared in the hunger of his people showed real character, while one who lived in luxury during famine revealed selfishness. These patterns are timeless because human nature doesn't change. Modern studies back this up. Psychologists studying crisis behavior found that people's true traits are magnified under stress. In other words, kindness grows kinder, selfishness grows harsher. This is why real-life moments, small or large, become the most honest mirrors of character. So ask yourself, who in your life has shown you their real self? Not through words, but through consistent action. Share your story in the comments, because these examples help us all sharpen our ability to see people as they truly are. Carl Jung's insights aren't just about analyzing others, they are tools for living wisely yourself. The first step is to shift your focus from words to actions. Instead of being impressed by what people say about themselves, pay attention to patterns in their behavior. Do they keep their promises? Do they act with respect when no one is watching? Small details repeated over time tell you more than grand statements ever could. The second step is observation during stress. When life is smooth, most people can maintain a mask, but when someone is under pressure, their real traits appear. Watch how they handle frustration, rejection, or failure. If they remain calm and fair, it shows inner discipline. If they lash out or blame others, it exposes insecurity or arrogance. Jung taught that adversity is the most reliable test of character. Applying this wisdom also means turning it inward. Ask yourself, how do I treat people who cannot offer me anything? How do I react when life doesn't go my way? By confronting your own shadow, you not only grow stronger but also become better at recognizing the truth in others. Jung insisted that self-awareness is the foundation of all psychological growth. Finally, don't rush judgment. True character reveals itself slowly through consistency. Give people time and let their behavior show you who they really are. Words may deceive for a season, but actions never lie in the long run. This approach will protect you from disappointment and help you build relationships based on reality, not illusion. So let me ask you, are you ready to start looking at actions instead of words? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if this lesson opened your eyes, write seductive wisdom to remind yourself that real understanding begins with seeing clearly. Carl Jung's psychology shows us a timeless truth. People can hide behind words, charm, and appearances, but their true character always reveals itself in action. How they treat those with less power and how they respond to hardship, these two tests expose who they really are. Once you learn to observe carefully, you'll never be fooled by surface impressions again. This wisdom isn't only for judging others, it's for shaping yourself. Every one of us carries a shadow, and our own actions under pressure reveal our true nature. By striving for patience, humility, and consistency, we can build a character that speaks louder than words. In the end, it is not what we claim about ourselves, but how we live that defines us. So here's my challenge for you. The next time you want to know someone's character, don't listen to their words, watch their actions. And if this video gave you clarity, write seductive wisdom in the comments so others know you're ready to live with sharper vision and deeper understanding.